Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies and Man once again, and today we are doing another video, and I do apologize for the construction noise if you guys can hear it. I don't have time to record any other time today, and there's just building stuff in front of my apartment. So yeah, now today's video is going to be a kind of quarterly review for the first quarter of the year, you know, the first 3 months, of my manga collecting goals for 2022. So I made a video about this in January, going over my kind of goals for the year. And today we're just gonna look at those goals again, and then look at all of the stuff that I have managed to achieve, or the stuff that I have not managed to achieve. And we're gonna try to kind of just review all of the stuff that I've been doing. Now, this might not necessarily be an interesting video for the vast majority of you, and so I understand if you want to click off, but this is partially, and in fact, mostly for me. So my YouTube channel works as a way for me to catalog, for me to chronicle the journey that I'm going through as I collect my manga, right? So it has a lot of other stuff in the channel, but it's mostly related to my collecting journey, my interest in all of this otaku and fandom type stuff, right? So sometimes the videos that I make are not necessarily going to be super interesting for you guys, but they are useful for me. Now, I could just have left it written and that's that, but I like the idea or the kind of method of using videos as a way to kind of be able to come back. Sorry, I almost choked on spit. To come back and kind of listen to what I was thinking at the time. So yeah, here we go. Quarter one review of my manga collecting goals for 2022. So I had, I would say, 3 goals, or maybe 2 goals and 2 sub goals at the beginning of the year. The first goal was to try to be consistent. The second goal was to find new series to buy. And the 2 sub goals were to collect all of the 7 Seas and J Novel Club special like collector editions. In the 7 Seas case, it's the classic collections, and in the J Novel stuff, it's the collector editions of Full Metal Panic, Crest of the Stars, Banner of the Stars, and Slayers. And the last kind of goal here was kind of undefined. I don't remember if I actually properly like defined it, but it is basically to look at manhwa in non-Japanese / different language manga. So what I mean by this is either check out new manhwa, which I have been doing more or less, and or buy manga that wasn't in English or that wasn't from Japan. So mostly I've been treating it as buy manga that is in other languages, in this case Spanish, because that's the other language that I can most actively read. I could try to buy some French manga, but I don't really feel that I'm that well off in terms of manga, or in terms of French, to read manga in that language. So it's mostly just been Spanish. So those are the 4 kind of goals that I had. Now let's go back to the first goal, trying to be consistent, and let's kind of look at what I've been doing. So I've been trying, the point of this goal was to try to finish or catch up with older releases. And I think that in that case, I haven't done that well. But in the secondary part of the goal, which was to keep up with new releases, I think I've been doing very, very well. So there was quite a few things that I had on my list that I had been wanting to try to catch up with, which were Furi-san, Hitomi-chan, Eden Zero, Mashle, Reign of the 7 Spellblades, and Solo Leveling. And the only one out of those 7 volumes that I'm behind on is Reign of the 7 Spellblades. I'm on volume 3 of the novel, and the novel is currently up to volume 4, with volume 5 coming out here in May. So in that sense, I only have to buy 2 books for that series. And of course, all of the other ones are going to be coming out and releasing in the next couple weeks and months as well. So I have to maintain up with them. And of course, I forgot to mention Record of Ragnarok in this list, because Record of Ragnarok is another one that's been releasing. In fact, it releases here in the next couple weeks. And so I think I've been doing really well in terms of keeping up with new releases. However, in terms of buying or catching up to older releases like Monster, Vinland Saga, Gleipnir, Tomo-chan, Requiem of the Rose King, and Fire Force and stuff like that, I have not done so well. I have basically bought no new volumes for those series, which kind of sucks. But also, I've just had other priorities lately. And so I think that it's okay that I haven't been able to catch up with them because I still have, 3 other quarters of the year. But also, I think that the keeping up with new releases schedule, or like that part of the goal, is a lot easier to keep up with. And so if I try to just be consistent with that one, I will more or less have accomplished the goal of the year. I just want to make sure that I try to catch up with the other ones. There's a few of them that are going to be really easy, like Drifting Dragons will probably be super easy. And Fire Force will probably be relatively easy. So I'll probably focus on those two. But, there's quite a few other things that I could possibly collect relatively easy, like Lipnir and stuff like that. So there you go. That's the first goal there. I also had 3 other manga that are low priority, like God Gohan, Red to Girlfriend, and Dress Up Darling, and have not bought anything for any of those series either. But I do want to get caught up with Dress Up Darling, since it's only 2 more volumes before I can get there. And of course, Gal Gohan has already finished, and it's only 9 more volumes. So maybe I'll also try to catch up with that one. But again, these last ones are not very high priority. Mostly, I'm prioritizing Vinland Saga, Gleipnir, Drifting Dragons, and then the stuff that I'm currently buying that is currently releasing, right? So hopefully, going forward, this goes well. And I think it has been going well so far. So hopefully I'll maintain that mojo, that moxie, and continue to go forth, right? So the second major goal here was to buy new series that I wanted to collect because I was interested in them. And I had 5 series on the list. I had No Guns Life, The Flowers of Evil, Record of Ragnarok, Gunbird Sisters, Bride Story, Witch Hat, and Tula Vuru. So I actually managed to buy at least 1 volume of each. So of course, Record of Ragnarok I had already bought last year, or at the beginning of this year, and so that one has already been moved up to new releases that I want to catch up with. No Guns Life, I finally managed to get the first volume, and the last volume is coming out here soon, so that one's going to be moved up to stuff that I want to catch up with. Flowers of Evil is completely complete and only 4 volumes. I have the first one, so this one also goes up to things I want to complete. It'll probably be relatively high priority, whether I like, depending on whether I like the first volume or not here soon. And that'll probably be up there with Vinland Saga and Gleipnir in terms of priority. Gunbird Sister is only 4 volumes, and the first one has just released a few weeks ago. So this one's going to be slow. I only need to buy one of these every 3 months. So it should be really easy to keep up with this, and it will be a relatively low priority buy. So that's fine. In terms of Bride Story, it's still an ongoing series, but there's up to 17 volumes out right now, and that'll probably go up in priority as well, depending on whether I like this first volume or not. But I'm like 95% sure that I will, so hopefully that that works out well. And Witch Hat Atelier, or Atelier, I don't know how to say that name, also will pretty much go up in priority because I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it. But if I don't, oh well, it's not that big of a deal. At this point, I have a lot of series that I have prioritized. So I definitely want to reshuffle this once I read all of these new series to buy, because that goal has been completed. After that, I don't have any major plans in terms of stuff in English. So everything else will just be consistency in trying to make sure that I buy everything that I'm looking to buy. So that's it for the 2 major goals of the year. I have managed to accomplish one completely, and I have managed to maintain a good pace for the other one. Now, my 2 sub goals, in terms of the 7 Seas and J-Novel stuff, I managed to buy one thing, which was the Lupin the Third book. However, this wasn't really a buy, it was a gift. My roommate gave it to me as a Christmas gift, and so it's not really fair to say that I bought it, but it definitely helped me out, because now I only have Cutie Honey, Devilman 1 and 2, and Kamen Rider to buy in order to collect the whole set of classic collections. So that is one less thing that I have to buy. And I think that the goal here is going to be to buy Devilman sometime this next quarter 2 of the year, because it has just been restocked. And so I definitely want to pick it up, but I haven't been able to, because last time I went to the store, I had plans to buy other things. And even though I saw it, it was $30. So that was more than the other things that I wanted to buy. And so it was like, I couldn't really justify getting it. But if I go in with the mindset that Devilman is the one thing that I want to get, I should probably be able to get it here soon. In terms of the J Novel Club stuff, I have not been able to achieve anything at all with that one. Mostly because you don't really find those in stores, and on Amazon they're there, but they very rarely have good, discounts on them. So I'm just kind of wait until, Full Metal Panic Collector's Edition 2 drops to $20, which may never be something that happens, but I will try to at least wait out until that happens. But who knows, one day I'll probably get impatient and just buy it at 25. So we'll see how that goes. Now, here, the last section here, in terms of manhwa, I definitely want to get more into The Breaker. I have managed to collect the first volume, but there's already 2 other volumes out here soon, and the series should end in 5 omnibuses, so I definitely want to try to get into it. There's also a few other things that I want to check out, like Hellbound. Panini just recently released it, and I know that, recently announced that they're going to release it later in the year, and I know that Dark Horse has recently released this in English, and it seems interesting, so I do want to check it out, but it's so expensive. It's like $20. It's a 2-volume series. They should have just done an omnibus and sold it for $30 or something, but it's kind of not the best. I don't necessarily think the price is great, but I do want to check it out. And there's another one that's like not manhwa, but it's also not Japanese manga, and that would be Trece, which is the Filipino comic series that inspired one of the Netflix shows, and this one is by Ablaze, which is the same people that publish Breaker, or The Breaker, so I definitely want to check that out at some point. I just don't know when. And of course, there's a few other things that I want to get into, but mostly it's just The Breaker, Trece, Hellbound, and of course Solo Leveling, the manhwa edition, which I have been collecting and I'm more or less caught up with. So I definitely want to keep those on the list, but I don't necessarily assign any priority to these because I don't really, these aren't like the first thing that I buy ever, right? Most of the time I wait until a specific sale or something like that, and then I get them. So that's why I'm not really forcing myself to put them on a priority section on the, like on a list organized by priority, if that makes sense. Sorry, just the noise in the background is really distracting. And then in terms of Spanish manga from Spain and from Mexico, in terms of Spain, I want to continue to buy Isaac volumes because I really enjoyed those first 2 volumes. The art in it is amazing. I also want to continue up with Sunken Rock and Kingdom and Kengar Ashura. Assuming I like the first volume, I definitely want to keep up with that as well. And I have a bunch of other series I want to buy. Like I want to buy Setman. I want to buy some of these Katsura manga that are not available in English, or that were available in English at some point but have not been available in English anymore. And there's a few other things, but mostly Isaac, Sunken Rock, Kingdom, and Kengan Ashura. Now, in terms of Mexican manga, I have a huge list of things, but it really depends on if there's a sale, and if there is a sale, what I feel like buying at that point. But mostly Saint Seiya, Yu Yu Hakusho, Shaman King. I want to keep up with Rooster Fighter, and other than that, I think that's the ones that I have in the priority. But I can't remember what else I have. There's Dorohedoro, there's Blade of the Immortal, there's a Katsura Akira single volume, which is a story by Akira Toriyama with art from Katsura. And there's the Defense Devil, which is a manhwa that was released in Japan, box set, which is pretty interesting. That was actually really cheap. It's like 600 pesos, which is about $30 for 10 volumes. Of course, they're small Japanese style tankobons, but I mean, it's so cool that, you know, it's only $30 for a 10-book box set. But there's a lot of stuff I want to keep up with, you know, Yagan, Adam, and other stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that I want to buy in Spanish, but of course, it very much depends on what I feel like getting at that point. And then there's also a lot of stuff that I want to buy that are new from Mexico. Like I want to get the Slam Dunk editions, the Vagabond editions. I want to try Banana Fish, and anything new that they release in the next couple months, I'll definitely want to try to collect. So there's a lot of things that I want to get. And of course, that is kind of like the end here in terms of this section of the goals for the year. I think I've been doing okay with them. I have managed to buy manga from Spain, and I do have plans to continue to collect manga from Mexico. So I think everything is on track. I just haven't been able to do that much. But the whole part here where I finished the whole second goal of the year is great. I'm really happy with that. I got the first volume of each one of the series, And now they just have to be reorganized into the first goal and organized by priority so I can continue to collect them. So there you go. That's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. What are your goals for the year, and how good have you been about maintaining them? Let me know down in the comments. And thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.